Hi, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on SWV and Xscape, the Queens of R&B. Okay, so before we get into things, I just want to briefly talk about Tamika Scott's video that she did with her two daughters. She was explaining the text message that she sent that caused all, the commotion. So apparently when they did the show in Vegas, while they were on stage, there was some shooting going on and they had to be snatched off the stage in the middle of their performance. When they went back to their dressing room, which were trailers, outdoor trailers, the door was jammed. They were locked out of their dressing room for over an hour. While they were waiting to be let back into their dressing room so they could retrieve their property and put on their clothes and everything like that, Latasha decides to leave. But she didn't just leave alone. She left with the road manager and other people that was working for Xscape. Tamika goes into the group chat and lets them know, all of you who left without making sure I was okay, y'all can kiss my ass. She was not necessarily calling out Latasha, although Latasha did leave without her, but she said this was aimed towards the people that she and Xscape collectively paid to do a service. They left without making sure everything was good, which is not what road managers are supposed to do. And that was what she was upset about. Latasha decided to make it about herself, replied and said, no, you kissed my ass. And then Tamika said, if you hadn't asked to kiss. That's what happened. She also mentioned the $30,000, the royalty checks that she's alleging her sister and brother-in-law snatched. She says that she, not only did she not get her royalty checks, that she and her husband had to pay taxes on said royalty checks that she never received. And this was during the time that she was pregnant with her youngest daughter and her eldest daughter was in college. Now, see, that's messed up. This is messed up because the way that she's giving us details, I believe her. I was never not believing her, but I really believe her. And it's weird because when Latasha was on R&B Divas, they performed for So Def's anniversary. Latasha and Tamika performed No Candy, No Tiny. And their mom shaded Candy and Tiny. I mentioned that in my last video. Tamika was pregnant during that time. So, bitch, you was getting an R&B Divas check and you was still stealing your sister money? You ain't no good. You and that husband, y'all don't have us fooled. The people, we are onto you. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to say. Let's get into episode 2. So anyways, we pick back up with Latasha and Tamika's mama telling the Bravo people, cut off your cameras or get out of my home. And we see Tamika, her daughter Ocean, and Miss Gloria pretty much on the sidewalk, and there's commotion. Latasha, she's getting in her car and she just is unbothered. And it was just like, I don't care. That just didn't go right. Because I feel like, Latasha, if your sister feels like you stole her money, it should not just be, girl, you be lying. Everybody knows you lie. You ain't got no money for us to steal. No, it should be, girl, what are you talking about? $30,000. Let's address this. Like, somebody, your sister, not just somebody, but your sister thinks that you have taken her royalty checks. You don't feel like y'all need to investigate this matter? Shouldn't this be something that y'all have already addressed and settled? The way that she would just be like, you lying, you lying. Everybody knows she lies. I'm not with it. Anyways, Tamika is upset. She feels as though she's been treated unfairly her whole life, and she's sick of the shenanigans, and she's just done. She's done, and she's upset. I don't feel like she disrespected their mother. She was just expressing herself, and she should be able to tell her mama how she feels. The fact that her mom wanted to shut down filming was all the proof I needed for me to believe that Tamika wasn't lying. I feel like my mom never acted that way, but I definitely know what it feels like to be in a family where a majority of the people are against you and they take your sibling side. I know how that feels. So I believe Tamika. I believe Tamika. I'm sorry. I really do. I'm not in their family, so I don't know the ins and outs, okay? I'm not privy to none of that information, but from what it looks like to me, the mom put all her hopes and dreams into Latasha, thought Latasha was going to be this big star pumped her head up, gave her all the confidence that she needed. And Tamika was just there as, you're there to help your sister. You're there to push your sister. You're there to elevate her. You're there to assist her. She's the star, and you're here to play background to your sister. That's what it looks like to me. That's just what it looked like. Because I don't understand. We watched that one interaction, and we saw it. Latasha said something, and she was like, When Tamika said something, oh, girl, you just acting. You deserve an Academy Award. So why are Latasha's feelings valid and Tamika's feelings not valid? I don't know how they thought this was going to look, but y'all are not fooling us. I believe everything Tamika is saying. I really do. Okay, so it's the next day, and we get this group scene at the candy factory with Candy and the two Tamikas. And of course, Candy gonna have some food laid out, okay? And I know we joke about Candy and her always eating, but I actually love the fact that Candy's not afraid to eat on camera. Like, that is what food is for. Like, girl, eat your chicken wing. Eat your charcuterie board. Girl, I'm here for it. Candy and Tiny want to know where Latasha is, and Tamika now has to let them know, like, okay, so yesterday my mama had a little family meeting and it didn't go so well. And they're like, what happened? And she plays the voicemail, and her mom is like manipulating her. She says, it's a shame that you don't have enough God in you to see that you hurt your sister deeply, and you don't want to listen to your mama, you don't want to listen to righteousness. And I felt really bad for Tamika. I felt bad for Tamika when they was at the mama house, but I really felt bad for Tamika in that moment, because you can clearly see that they've been doing this to this girl her whole life. They have. Candy and Tiny kind of looking at her like, girl, because they're used to seeing this. They knew all about this. We are getting to see this for the first time. But Latasha and her mama been playing this game on Tamika her whole life. And it's so obvious. We could tell that from the very first episode what was going on over there. And Tamika starts to cry because she's like, y'all know I never go against my sister. Even when it doesn't benefit me, I stick with her. I go against y'all before I go against her. And they kind of like, we know. And Candy, I be giving Candy a hard time on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But when it comes to Xscape business, I'm always on Candy's side. Almost always on her side. You can clearly see that Latasha is the problem. I'm sorry, she is. You can see it. When they did the last show, when they first got back together, I think it was called Just Kicking It or Kicking It Again. It was on Bravo. Y'all seen it. And if y'all haven't seen it, then maybe y'all should go back and watch. I don't know. But when they were on that show, the thing that stuck out to me the most is that, of course, we know that Tamika went on the radio and slut-shamed Candy. And a lot of what she said wasn't even true. And Candy was upset, and she was like, ain't gonna be no Xscape. I'm not gonna be a part of Xscape until I get a public apology because you disrespected me publicly, right? We all know about that. But the reason why Tamika did that was because she was taken up for Latasha. And I think that was very evident. I think we all knew that, right? It was weird to me how Tamika was so apologetic to Candy. Like, she kept apologizing and kept trying to make things right with Candy. And Latasha was so far removed from that. She was acting like it didn't have nothing to do with her. She was acting like she wasn't a part of it. She didn't know nothing about it. Every time she was in a scene with Candy, she kept trying to play fake nice with Candy. And Candy kept side-eyeing her like, girl, you have never liked me. Why are you sitting up here being phony? And what I didn't like about Latasha is like she kept saying, oh no, Candy, we like sisters. And Candy was looking at her like, since when? Candy was always cool with Tamika and Tiny, but she was never really cool with Latasha. But Latasha kept trying to pretend like her and Candy were good. She even went to the extent of bringing up Candy's deceased brother. And I knew then that, Latasha, you full of shit, girl. Because you didn't have that, you weren't feeling that way when you guys were on R&B Divas and your mama was shading Candy and Tiny. You weren't feeling like that then. She was your sister then. Because you didn't stop your mama and say, mama, that's not cool. You didn't. But my point is, it was very weird to me how Tamika is apologizing and Latasha is acting like she don't know, she ain't got nothing to do with that. But now in these episodes, we're starting to really see how Latasha feels about Candy, because in that last show, she was faking it for the cameras. Well, now she's about to show us the real her. So we also get a scene with Latasha and her husband at home, and she put me off immediately because she was telling lies, okay? She tried to put it off on Tamika and say when they were at their mom's house, how Tamika was acting stank and brand new. Like, sis, I know you lying. Like, I know you fucking lying, because when you guys went to the meeting with SWV, weren't you sitting up there acting stank and brand new? Weren't you looking your sister up and down? Weren't you so visibly annoyed that Taj and Coco tried to coax you into loosening up so that y'all can have a real conversation? You didn't talk about yourself when you was doing that, but you want to talk about Tamika. Right there, you lose all credibility with me. Probably most of the audience too. The fact that the husband is confused as to why his name came up when we're pretty sure you know all about what Tamika is talking about. And first of all, her and her husband, they don't fool me. It's like y'all are really good at acting, but it's not convincing enough. You know why your name came up, sir. You know exactly why your name came up. You know. And I'm expecting, if you're going to defend yourself, defend yourself. Sit here and say, absolutely not. I never received any checks that had her name on it. I never cashed them. Like, I want to know what she's talking about. We need to have a sit down with her and her husband, because I need some proof, because I never got that money. If you did that, I would believe you. But this whole, I don't need to justify myself. The truth speaks for itself. Yeah, and it's looking like you're the one that's telling the lies. But what I really, really didn't like is when he said, when you bring up people's names into stuff, you're going to have to deal with what come with it. I didn't appreciate that, because what that mean? That sounds like a threat. Are you threatening your wife's sister? What was that? I didn't like how that sounded. I did not like the sounds of that. I ain't tripping too much, because y'all seen what Tamika's husband looked like. Rocky, you might be working out, you might be fit and all, but I just don't see that ending good for you. Because the threats, I don't like that. But anyways, so next we see Lily at home with one of her sisters, and they're making breakfast, and they're having a nice little cute moment. Like, Lily's making a mess. It's just a lot going on in the kitchen. And Lily is kind of telling us more about her story, how she had her first child at 15. You know, they grow up not having a lot. She was the youngest of 4. So she got a lot of hand-me-downs, but her dreams was always to make it big. She had big dreams. She tells us how she had 2 part-time jobs, and then she would record at the studio at night. And I was just like, I knew she had some rough times, because I did watch the SWV show that used to come on VH1, I believe. I did used to watch that, but I didn't know just how much she has gone through. I do know that after SWV, I think, broke up and the money ran dry, she had some really tough, dark times. And so it's just real nice to see her happy, and she's moving and she's working, and she's talking about they doing 6-figure shows in South Africa. This is the type of talk I like to hear, okay? I like happy stories. I like, I went through it, but here I am. I like those type of stories, So Tamika and Taj, they link up, and Taj is kind of like, girl, I know you had some great ideas, but what's really going on with this group? Is your sister on board? What's going on, girl? And Tamika kind of lets her know a little bit, and like, girl, things are worse than they were before. And she's telling her, you need to maybe sit with a counselor to figure out why you do the things that you do. She says, I know why I do them, to please my mother. I want to feel loved by my mother and my sister. I have to stand up for them. I have to be on their side when they're right or wrong. I have to go so hard for them. That's the only way I get to feel their love. And it was like, okay, so she know what's up. Because we had already figured it out as well. Just by these 2 episodes, we put the pieces together. And that's really sad. That's really sad. For your sister and your mother, those are supposed to be that's home. For you not to be able to feel like, that sucks. That really sucks. And she cries again, and it's just like, girl. Literally, she been holding all this in for what, 40 something years? Like, that's a lot. I'm glad, Tamika, you got 2 daughters. You got 3 daughters. You got 3 daughters that love you. You got a husband. You got grandkids. Like, hopefully your mom and your sister see themselves on television and they see how wrong they have been. It might not happen. It may not happen. But if it don't happen, God has blessed you already, because girl, I would have been cussed him out. Okay, so back at Tiny's house, it said Tiny's lake house, but if you watch T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle, then you already know this house, okay? Well, she also says this, she has 5 homes. Okay, Tiny, we see you, okay? But she's hosting the girls. So she's in the kitchen making drinks. And I think Candy arrives, and then Tamika, and then of course they're having a cute little moment, and then Latasha arrives, and it's just like dun 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 dun. Anyways, these ladies got to see how they can make things work, because Tamika and Latasha not getting along. That's not gonna work for the group. And Latasha is saying how she's upset that Tamika has not reached out to apologize to her nor her mother, and she's only there out of her love for Tiny. First of all, Tiny don't need this Xscape money. You the one stealing people's royalty checks. You need to be there. You not there for your love for Tiny. You there for your love for yourself. Okay, let's start there. And secondly, what did Candy do to you? Because I can understand you being upset with your sister and her text message and her telling you to kiss her ass, or you telling her to kiss the ass that you don't have. How Candy get in it? What did Candy do? This is what I'm talking about. On that last show, she was trying to act like she had so much love for Candy. Now all of a sudden you're mad at Candy because you're mad at your sister. People like Latasha and her husband and the mama, y'all tell on yourselves even though y'all don't realize it. So everybody acting like they don't want to talk. So Tiny was like, okay, I think we need to talk about management. Because of all the attention and the hype around the verses that we did, I feel like we should be getting opportunities that have not presented themselves. What is management really doing? And Candy is saying in the confessional how they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything management wise. Why are we dealing with them? Why should we be putting up with this? I agree with Candy. Tamika says, oh, but they're very good friends with my sister and her husband. So that lets us know right there. They probably, now Tamika didn't say this. This is what Beasting is saying. I'm saying that maybe, and the reason why maybe there hasn't been a lot of Xscape opportunities on the table is because they have focused their energy on looking for Latasha solo opportunities. Because look at SWV. They booking shows all over the world. Look at what the Versus did for Mario. Versus is like, it's a tool. It's a really great tool. I watched the Xscape and SWV Versus probably 3 or 4 times. I normally don't go back and watch Versus. Like, I watch it live and then that's it. I went back and watched their Versus a couple of times. I'm just saying. So Candy and Tiny are right. Where are the opportunities? Tiny asked Latasha, what do you think about all of this? And she was like, I just need to pray on it. And Candy says in her confessional, like, she never gonna give you an answer because she gotta go and talk to her brain. Her brain is her husband. They cut to a Latasha confessional, and the producer is asking Latasha, what will it take for you and Tamika to fix things? And then Rocky walks right behind her and he starts whispering in her ear. But the way he did it just was so weird and manipulative and controlling. And he probably thought, maybe he does this all the time and he doesn't realize that is off-putting, but it just was gross. It was so gross to me. It was just like, I didn't like that. That gave very much that he abusive. That's what it was giving. It was giving very much Ike and Tina, very much Sydney and Monique, very much Wendy Williams and Kevin, very much Egypt and Sam. That's what it was giving. It didn't look right. And I know she thinks that that's cute because, oh my God, this man wants me. He loves me so much. Oh my God, anything for my husband. And it was just like, girl. Latasha is unwilling to move forward. She says that there are so many internal issues going on in this group. And I was going to say Tamika, but her name is Tamika Tiny Harris. She's like, look, I don't feel like we need to rehash things that are just not necessary to rehash. Like, let's just move forward with the things that we can fix. And the other Tamika, she's like, look, she looks over to her sister and she was like, you're still mad at me? Do you want to talk about it? No, we're not about to do this. We're not about to talk about it because I'm not discussing my mother in front of these girls. And it's just like, that just pissed Tamika off because she was like, what do you mean your mother? Well, our mother. She said, no, you said your mother. And it's just like, oh, here we go again. Girl, Tamika, Latasha is not going to talk about this matter in front of these girls because her and y'all mama can't strong arm you the way that they need to in front of these people. They need to isolate you in order to do that. They can't do that with the cameras and the producers and Candy and Tamika and all these other people that might show you some support. They can't do that. They need you to be alone for their magic to work. Anyways, Tamika is saying to Latasha, like, girl, you just not acting the same. I miss the you that I used to know. Like, girl, you just different. And Latasha is just like, oh, okay. And she has this attitude and this chip on her shoulder like she's been having. And she just abruptly gets up and stands over them. And then she was like, I'm out. And of course, Tiny walks her out. They go outside and they're by the car. She's sitting down and Tiny is still trying to talk to her. Like, y'all got to get it together. Y'all got to work past this. And Latasha's like, when she gets it right with my mom, when she works it out with her, then we'll be good. Yeah, you want her to work it out with your mom because you already know that your mom is on your side and your mom is going to force her to bow down to you. So, of course, she got to talk to your mother first. Baby, too many of us have experienced this. Too many of us have this going on in our own families. So you're not fooling the viewers. You're not. So over in Nashville, Taj is coming home. She has a little bit of downtime in between shows. And she's letting us know, like, being a girl from Brooklyn, she never thought that she would be calling Nashville home. But she followed her heart, and that's where her man was. So that's where she calls home now. And her son and her husband are so happy to see her. She's having a cute little scene with them on the couch, and they're talking about, they're talking about what's going on. She's downloading them on what's been going on. And it's really nice to see her happy. It's really nice to see these women, be grown women and be happy and just, living their life. They show a little clip of them singing Anything, and I'm like, yes, anticipation of what's to come. I'm so happy. So Coco is back home as well in Virginia with her son and her mom. And can I just say, Coco's mom looks great. Like, I remember her being on the other show, and she didn't look bad on the other show, but she looks really, really good. Like, whatever you've been doing, girl, keep it up. Mama, you look good. Somehow they get onto the subject of her, I guess, feeling at home or feeling too comfortable. And Coco was like, your boyfriend be over here. And the mama face got real serious. And her son looked over at his grandma like, he looked really disturbed. He don't want to hear about his grandma and her boyfriend. That ain't the conversation y'all want to have. Like, he didn't ask for all of that. Coco out of order for asking her mama if her and her boyfriend be humping in the house. Coco, you know better than that. You know better than to ask that lady. That lady she is for the Lord, okay? Don't ask her that on camera. She got upset. Coco was letting us know in the confessionals how, when she first got with SWV, she had to lie to her mama and say it was a gospel group. And I just think that is, I'm so fascinated with people's stories from the 90s because I feel like they really knew how to live. Like, I feel like that was such a time to experience life. Like, their stories always fascinate me. Like, how you gonna tell your mama it's a gospel group knowing damn well? Knowing damn well y'all singing about downtown. What gospel song is that, Coco? You tried it. One thing about Coco and her family, they are a very good looking family. Like the son is fine, the mama fine, Coco fine. Y'all look good. Y'all got some good genes up in that family. I mean, just looking great. So over at Latasha's house, she is packing. I don't remember exactly why she's packing, but she is. Her husband has this breakfast laid out for her, and he's talking all this talk. And sir, nobody is buying your good husband act. You can hang it up. We don't believe you. They start talking, and he's saying, you know, the thing about Xscape is that you guys always had this sisterhood. Y'all, that's why y'all were so successful, because everyone could feel the sisterhood. But you and Kandi, y'all never really were on the same page. I don't like that. What is, you and your wife are sitting up there talking about y'all celebrating 27 years. I don't know if it was actually really y'all anniversary or you just wanted to give us this nonsense. I don't know. But why does the conversation have to switch to Kandi and her not getting along? Now, I'm always call out Kandi if she's doing something that I don't think is right. But I feel like that was manipulative. What does Kandi have to do with this? She's arguing with her sister. Where does her and Kandi not getting along have to come? Y'all full of shit. Because they further go into the conversation saying how Kandi was young and she used to throw a fit anytime Tamika was sing. Girl, the main songs that y'all are known for are Understanding, Just Kicking It, and what was the other one? My Little Secret. Kandi's voice was on all of those songs. You guys always switched up who sang lead. It wasn't just one lead singer. So I don't believe you when you say that Kandi was throwing a fit, because the story that I had heard was Latasha was the lead singer initially when Kandi and them joined the group. But once they got signed, JD wanted Kandi to sing a lot more lead. And I believe that story, because if you think about it, back in the 90s, who was popping? TLC. Who was the lead singer in TLC? T-Boz. That raspy, low register voice, that was a thing. Yeah, we like the Sopranos, we like the Runs, we like all of that stuff. But Kandi's voice was real cool. It was real in a pocket. It was real sultry and sexy. So you guys all sang lead. All of y'all sang lead at some point. We are most familiar with your voice and Kandi's voice. So this new story of how I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe it. So over at the Kandi Factory, Kandi's meeting with her people. She got Todd and she got DJ A1, I think is his name. And then there was another fella, I don't know his name. But they're having a similar conversation about like the group and them not being on the same page and what's really going on. And if you could pinpoint where things started to go bad, where would you say things started to go bad? And Kandi's trying to be cute, talk about, I can't really pinpoint. And Todd is like, bullshit, yes, you can. And he's saying how pretty much Latasha never got over you having the life that she probably thought she should have had. He ain't said it like that, but that's pretty much what he's trying to say. Like, Kandi is successful. A lot of times when you're in situations like this, you think that someone who wronged you is going to be living a certain way. And in Latasha's mind, Kandi is the villain, but Kandi is living a very beautiful, successful life. The only reason why this show is sitting here on our Bravo screens because of Kandi. So he says she never got over that. She never got over the fact that you were able to have a solo career and her solo project was shelved. And y'all know I don't hardly ever agree with Lemonhead Todd, okay? I always got some lemons to throw at Todd. But I'm going to agree when he's saying something that makes sense. And this right here, this makes sense. This makes all the sense. Because we had all heard the story. We done all heard the story of when they were doing the last album, Latasha and Kandi got into a fist fight because Latasha went around the room and was reading everybody. She read Kandi, said, girl, you can go be a model. The two Tamikas, y'all can go keep having more babies. I'm going solo. Y'all heard that story. And Kandi got to minking her. And that's how like things went really, really left for Xscape. But you made all this, you did all of this. Like, I'm going to be solo. I'm going to be the star. And you thought you was Diana Ross. And we all know what happened to your career. You had 2 songs. And here we are. Back over at Latasha's house, her husband is asking her, do you think Kandi dislikes you? And she's like, yeah, there's something about me that she doesn't like. And it's just kind of like, to me, Latasha, you're phony. Because when you guys did the last show, why didn't all of this come up? So she's saying how she went solo in 98, and then right after that, her album got shelved, but then Kandi got signed and her album came out. And it's like, if you were going solo in 98, I believe Kandi's album came out in 2000. That ain't the same time, darling. And why would Kandi's album stop your album? Y'all weren't on the same label. Y'all didn't have the same people. Why would her album stop your album from coming out? That part I don't understand. That's the part I don't understand. Maybe you didn't get the react. Maybe the numbers didn't do what they thought it was supposed to do with the other 2 songs that you had out. Because I'm just trying to think, like, now Kandi's pretty powerful. But back in year 2000, I don't know how powerful Kandi was that she could get your album to be shelved. I don't know. You people that know how these things go, y'all let me know. One thing about Kandi, she gonna have her a shady person on her staff to say the stuff that she not gonna say. Because DJ A1, he's all the way here for it. Like, look, let's figure this out. We waiting on Tasha to pray, but we gonna move forward. We gonna change the management. We gonna do this, and this, but we gonna figure this out because, you know, that's what we do. And of course, Kandi gonna give her little ugly laugh. But I mean, in this situation, I'm really irritated with Tasha because it's like, okay, you say you got your management people, you got your people handling everything, but at the same time, you're working on trying to get yourself a solo project. But just say you doing it. At this moment right now, where we are in the world is people really can do any and everything that they want. Like, a lot of the rules that people had to live by in the 90s and the early 2000s, it's not like that no more. You literally can do a solo project and then do group project and then do this and do that and do that. Have a baby, sing at the damn Oscars with your big pregnant stomach. You can do everything right about now. So it's like, girl, if you want to still do your solo gospel stuff and take a step back from Xscape or do both, you can. All this extraness, it's not necessary. You literally can do both if you want to. All you got to do is be honest and say, hey, this is what I'm working on. Kandi working on 10, 15 different things at once. Nobody is going to be mad at you if you're doing solo stuff. No one is going to care. All this secrecy, girl, all this shade, all these antics, it's not necessary. It really isn't. So Latasha and her husband have a meeting with Motown Gospel over in Nashville. And God forgive me, but this lady's hair is really bothering my spirit. Like, chat, what? I'm gonna shut up. Anyways, the guy that's really running this meeting, he wants to know, like, girl, what are your plans? How do you intend on juggling Xscape and being over here as a solo artist? What you gonna do, girl? What's your plan? You know, da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, do they even know that you're here? And she was kind of like having a little shady laugh, and then she swallowed it when she realized he wasn't into the shady laugh. And then she was like, oh, I haven't had that discussion with them. And then her husband is looking goofy, like, like he giving her the eyes. And then he was like, oh, I didn't know. That's a surprise to me. I thought you told them. Latasha, is this your king? Your king just threw your ass up under the bus. Anyways, you know, the man wants to hear Latasha sing. And, you know, that girl can sing. Nobody can ever take that away from her, okay? God blessed her vocals, okay? She can really sing. And we love her voice. Like, nobody wants to take that from you, Latasha. So she sings a little something or whatever. This was a song I think that she did back in 2021. That's what the screen says right now. And I appreciate the enthusiasm. I appreciate them being, girl, you did that. But something about that husband, something about that man, whole spirit just got grifter all over him. It's just, I don't see the loving, supportive husband. I see an opportunist, okay? I see a man who knows how to swerve and get himself in the right position. I see a man that saw a woman who, yes, in the 90s, she didn't have the look. She was overweight a little bit. She's not she ain't society's standard of beauty, but she's very, 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 very gifted and talented. And he just said, let me attach myself to her. I ain't gonna never have to worry about making no money while I'm with her. That's just what this relationship gives. It gives that she loves this man with her entire heart. And this man sees dollar signs. When he sees his wife, he sees money. The way that he was, I just don't like this man. I don't trust him. The way he looks at her is not with love. He looks at her like a meal ticket. It's very much giving these men gold dig too. This is what it's giving. Anyways, they wrap this scene on up because, you know, like Latasha got to leave and she got to figure out what she going to do. Is she going to be in this group or not? And it's just like, girl, like I said in my last video, and I know I pissed some people off on TikTok, but Latasha, nobody was checking for you as a solo artist. And it's just crazy how you guys can come back together after being broken up for so long. And you guys are being honored at the Xscape Awards, at the BET Awards, at the Lady of Soul Train. Y'all been getting y'all just due. And it's crazy to me why you guys wouldn't want to pursue that. Y'all had 20 years to each do your thing. And y'all came back together for one tour. And look how God showed up and showed out. I'm not saying you shouldn't do the other things that it's in your heart to do, to cross off your list. I get it. But it doesn't seem like you're just having this desire to do that. It just seems like you want to just be a jerk. That's how it's coming off. You want to be Diana Ross. And I mean, maybe there's people checking for you, because I said people weren't checking for you. But a few people was in my comments saying that the people are checking for you. I don't know, but whatever it is, it's just like, child, I guess. I will say this, I plan on enjoying the rest of this season because I don't know if we're going to get a season 2. So I plan on thoroughly enjoying this season. I suggest you guys do the same. But that's pretty much all I had to say. Please like and comment. Thanks for watching.